This is gonna be hard to see. Ooh.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
The coming week, yeah.
Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday?
I feel it's funny because they count the first day.
Oh, May
So,
1st was
yeah.
okay.
From all the state is and
Can you see this?
I can see it.
I'll make the questions out loud to you. This should not.
That is the national.
Holiday. Why or why not? 3. Does this one work?
Green.
Maybe see the use the pink one.
Oh yeah, he's good. Oh wow, yeah.
Oh, wow. It's bright.
All the neon color. So, thing.
One more question. You received Mother's Day. We kind of like, do you guys know what MD is Mother's Day? Okay, we'll just do that. Okay, so, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good.
Good, that's awesome. Okay, so today, does anyone know when Mother's Day is this year?
Mm-hmm.
It's this Sunday,
coming
isn't
Sunday.
it? Yep. Yeah. Okay. So, I have these questions for you. These are just preliminary or like discussion questions. We're just going to, I'm gonna have you guys pair up, and for the sake of time, actually we may have enough time to answer all 4 of these. But you and your partner I would like you guys to talk about these answers, or these questions, and just converse about like what you think Mother's Day is, or what do you know about it. So please find a partner, and I will give you 5 to 8 minutes to discuss.
Sure.
So yeah, would you guys like to pair up? Who's gonna pair up? And then, hi Sam. Hi. There you go. You guys can pair up. And you guys can pair up. And then, have a seat. Or, yes, do you want to do this one with Koch? Sure. Or, yeah, so just talk about these questions. And then we're going to discuss after. So
what
the
do
first
you know
question,
about
yes.
Mother's Day?
What do you know about Mother's Day?
Mother's Day is a holiday. We celebrate the second Sunday
You guys
every year.
Oh, that is not only American. That is the worldwide.
I'm not sure. It started in Canada.
Oh,
I don't think it's the same date in every country, but I'm not sure.
but in Hong Kong, I know.
It's the same.
I know the Father's Day. I know the Mother's Day. So that's I'm thinking. But like the International Children's Day, April 4th. That I know.
But we didn't celebrate Children's Day until about 40 years ago.
She likes to get them
Before
done,
that, we really didn't celebrate it.
like as a special treat. When you're done with the next, or the first question, you can move on to the next, and then the next after that. So, this one's a little hard to see. Do you think Mother's Day is an American holiday? Why or why not?
But actually, for me, Sunday is not a holiday, so
Right.
so
And it's technically not a holiday.
Okay.
Right. But it's a day of observance.
I have
Like
a
Valentine's Day, it's not a holiday.
yeah. We are from a family not celebrate a lot, like a birthday. We don't share. My parents didn't do all those things. So
You have fun.
for my members,
Yeah, man.
I'm thinking
It's
I
my life's
didn't
dream
do-
right here.
Yeah, I didn't do a gift or something. Might be when I grow up
Yeah.
older, might be I will say I will do the cooking because I remember. Rather than that, no gift.
Yes.
And the last one, what was your favorite gift? I think I have one, but actually it's not happened on Mother's Day because when they say, I think the first time when we had Disney, zero something, I had all those kind
That's fun. Yeah. What do you know about Mother's Day? Is it a Japanese holiday? Do you celebrate it in Japan? Or- Yeah. Okay.
That might be
So what happened? So because she. Yeah, because Mary's like not doing anything through the day. So that's always fun to try and make sure that she relaxes for a day. Okay, yeah, flowers. Yeah. Have you received a gift on Mother's Day? I remember I gave my mom. What was your favorite gift? Cards, like Mother's Day cards. Oh. Yeah, or sometimes chocolates. Yeah, and yeah. Yeah, or we like to brunch. That's a breakfast lunch thing. We do that. Yeah. We get flowers for my grandmother on Mother's Day too. That's her favorite because she's a big garden. Have you flowers are always fun to get. Just like having them. That's nice.
の脳だとは思うけど理由が
Me too. I'm not good at keeping them alive either. Yeah.
So they only have
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's so cool. Yeah.
なんか細かい
But not in Mother's Day. I get it as Mother's Day, but they say that's your Mother's Day.
One more minute. Is everyone done yet? Okay. Everyone good? Has everyone answered their questions? Okay, so I'm just going to. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna ask a couple of things, just for the sake of time. But so can anyone tell me what they think they know about what Mother's Day is or what the holiday is? Does anyone want to give a suggestion or like an answer? Does anyone want to answer this question? It can just be like a simple, I think this is what Mother's Day is, or like what did you talk about in your discussion?
So every year, the second Sunday is Mother's Day.
Okay.
I think it originated in Canada.
In Canada. Oh, interesting.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so like, do you think it's an American holiday? Yeah. Do you think it's celebrated around the world? If it's Canadian, I mean. Do you guys celebrate Mother's Day in Japan? Yes. Okay.
Even
Yeah, and
Hong
China
Kong.
too. Yeah, and Hong Kong. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, someone tell me what your favorite gift or what favorite thing you did for your mother when you celebrated Mother's Day there. Does anyone remember?
I usually get my mother flowers to plant in her garden, like,
Oh, cool.
you know, like for every spring.
Yeah. Yeah. And what about like chocolates or take your mom out to brunch? Yeah. And then I think all of you have kids, right? Yes. You all have children? Do you all have children? Yes. Okay, what was your favorite gift that you received from your kids on Mother's Day? Do you remember? Sudoku? I feel like you want to say something.
My daughter made a painted pod at school, and it was very cute. And I like it.
Yeah. Did you put a plant in there, or are you using it?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna pass you guys out an article on Mother's Day. The title says Mother's Day turns 100. But this is actually written 2 years ago, but it's still up to date because it has some historic information. And it's titled Mother's Day turns 100. It's surprisingly dark history. I don't know why National Geographic. I think there's 6 in here. Let me see if I can pass them out. Okay, so I'm going to read this article to you.
Did you have enough? I have it right here.
Yeah, I have one. So if you want to share, yeah. And I'm going to read this article to you. This, as I mentioned before, this article is about 2 years old. So, or 2 days, 2 years old. So it would be Mother's Day would be 102 years this coming Sunday. Yeah. So. So I'm going to read this article out loud, and while I'm reading this, I would like you guys to underline any words or phrases that you don't understand, and then maybe we can talk about them after reading this article. All right. Is everyone ready? I will read, and you guys please follow along. Mother's Day turns 100. It's surprisingly dark history. As Mother's Day turns 100 this year, it's known mostly as a time for brunches, gifts, cards, and general outpourings of love and appreciation. But the holiday has more somber roots. It was founded for mourning women to remember fallen soldiers and work for peace. And when the holiday went commercial, its greatest champion, Anna Jarvis, gave everything to fight it, dying penniless and broken in a sanitarium. Wow, this is really dark. It all started in the 1850s when West Virginia women's organizer Anne Reeves Jarvis, Anna's mother, held Mother's Day work clubs to improve sanitary conditions and try to lower infant mortality by fighting disease and curbing milk contamination. According to historian Catherine Antolini of West Virginia Wesleyan College, the groups also tended wounded soldiers from both sides during the U.S. Civil War from 1861 to 1865. In the post-war years, Jarvis and other women organized Mother's Friendship Day picnics and other events as pacifist strategies to unite former foes. Julia Ward Howe, for one, best known as the composer of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, issued a widely read Mother's Day proclamation in 1870, calling for women to take an active political role in promoting peace. Around the same time, Jarvis had initiated a Mother's Friendship Day for Union and Confederate loyalists across her state. But it was her daughter Anna who was most responsible for what we call Mother's Day, and who would spend most of her later life fighting what it had become. Anna Jarvis never had children of her own, but the 1905 death of her own mother inspired her to organize the first Mother's Day observance in 1801. On May 10th of that year, families gathered at events in Jarvis's hometown of Grafton, West Virginia, at a church now renamed the International Mother's Day Shrine, as well as in Philadelphia, where Jarvis lived at the time, and in several other cities. Largely through Jarvis's efforts, Mother's Day came to be observed in a growing number of cities and states until U.S. President Woodrow Wilson officially set aside the second Sunday in May 1914 for the holiday. For Jarvis, it was a day when you go home to spend time with your mother and thank her for all the things that she did. West Virginia Wesleyan's Antolini, who wrote Memorializing Motherhood, Anna Jarvis in the Defense of Her Mother's Day, as her PhD dissertation, said in a previous interview. It wasn't to celebrate all mothers. It was to celebrate the best mother you've ever known, your mother, as a son or a daughter. That's why Jarvis stressed the singular Mother's Day rather than the plural Mother's Day, Antolini explained. But Jarvis's success soon turned to failure, at least in her own eyes. Anna Jarvis's idea of an intimate Mother's Day quickly became a commercial goldmine, centering on the buying and giving of flowers, candies, and greeting cards, a development that deeply disturbed Jarvis. She set about dedicating herself and her sizable inheritance to returning Mother's Day to its reverent roots. Jarvis incorporated herself as the Mother's Day International Association and tried to retain some control of the holiday. She organized boycotts, threatened lawsuits, and even attacked First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt for using Mother's Day to raise funds for charities. In 1923, she crashed a convention of confectioners in Philadelphia, Antolini said. A similar protest followed 2 years later. The American War Mothers, which still exist, used Mother's Day for fundraising and sold carnations every year, Antolini said. Anna resented that, so she crashed their 1925 convention in Philadelphia and was actually arrested for disturbing the peace. Jarvis's fervent attempts to reform Mother's Day continued until at least the early 1940s. In 1948, she died at 84 in Philadelphia's Marshall Square Sanitarium. This woman, who died penniless in a sanitarium in a state of dementia, was a woman who could have profited from Mother's Day if she wanted to, Antolini said. But she railed against those who did, and it cost her everything, financially and physically. Today, of course, Mother's Day continues to roll on as an engine of consumerism. According to the National Retail Federation, Americans will spend an average of $162.94 on moms this year, down from a survey of $168.94 last year. Total spending is expected to reach $19.9 billion. The U.S. National Restaurant Association reports that Mother's Day is the year's most popular holiday for dining out. As for Mother's Day being a Hallmark holiday, there's no denying it, strictly speaking. Hallmark Cards itself, which sold its first Mother's Day cards in the early 1920s, reports that Mother's Day is the number 3 holiday for card exchange in the United States, behind Christmas and Valentine's Day, another apparent affront to the memory of the mother of Mother's Day. About 133 million Mother's Day cards are exchanged annually, according to Hallmark. After Christmas, it's the second most popular holiday for giving gifts. The holiday Anna Jarvis launched has spread around much of the world, though it's celebrated with varying enthusiasm, in various ways, and on various days, though more often than not on the second Sunday in May. In much of the Arab world, Mother's Day is on March 21st, which happens to loosely coincide with the start of spring. In Panama, the day is celebrated on December 8th, when the Catholic Church honors perhaps the most famous of mothers, the Virgin Mary. In Thailand, mothers are honored on August 12th, the birthday of Queen Sirikit, who has reigned since 1956 and is considered by many to be the mother to all Thais. Britain's centuries-old Mothering Sunday, the fourth Sunday of the Christian period of Lent, began as a spring Sunday designated for people to visit their area's main cathedral, or mother church, rather than their local parish. Mothering Sunday church travel led to the family reunions, which in turn led to Britain's version of Mother's Day. Wow. So we're gonna just go over these questions again. And well, yeah. Actually, what we'll do is, were there any words that anyone was not familiar with or did not understand? Maybe you want to share?
I have a whole list of them.
Yeah.
Did you understand them all?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
okay.
yeah.
What were some you didn't understand?
The first paragraph, the last word, I don't know what's this.
Appreciation.
The
Oh,
sanitarium.
sanitarium.
Mm-hmm.
Sanitarium. It is a psychological horror. Oh wait, hold on. That's it's kind of okay. So it's kind of like a hospital. It's for people who have like a chronic illness or something like that. So like I guess Anna was chronically ill. I don't know. It's kind of sad, but yeah, it's pretty dark. I didn't think it was that dark. Any other words? Yes, Sudoku.
Outpouring. What do you call it?
Outpouring.
Outpouring. So like a generous abundance. So like just a lot. And it's like,
Like a
well, it's kind of like
waterfall
fast
of
and just like there's just a
That
bunch
would
of
be
it.
like an outpouring of
Yeah.
love. Like you're just
Okay.
overflowing.
Make it easier. That is like a rehab or
Oh
something.
hey,
Yes.
I am going to your wedding. I have to RSVP, but I got the thing. So yeah.
What about penniless?
Penniless.
Yeah.
Penniless. That means you're dirt poor, basically. You're all out of money.
No money.
No money.
What about contamination?
Ooh, contamination.
I forget where that one is.
Mm. I guess it's a pollution of something by another substance. Kind of like. What paragraph is that in?
I'm looking. I think it was talking about.
Oh, curbing milk contamination. So like basically contamination is like bad substance that mixes with good
There's
substance
stuff in it. that
and
doesn't
makes it
belong.
eventually all bad. So they were trying to fix the milk contamination.
What's a boycott?
Yeah, I just look at it.
A boycott.
Yeah.
Compound words.
First, I'm thinking is the Boy Scout something, all those stuff.
Where was that one? What paragraph was
The boycott is like you are banning yourself from
Mhm.
something or like not supporting it anymore.
So right now, a lot of people are boycotting Target
Yeah.
Why?
because they're putting transgender bathrooms.
Or aren't they like allowing?
They're allowing
transgender to use
transgenders to use either bathroom, and some mothers are fearing that sometimes people who are transgender are also pedophiles, people who prey on children and like attack children and take them or sexually abuse them. So they don't want, they want all women to be in a women's bathroom and all men to be in a men's bathroom, regardless of what you call yourself.
Are there any other words?
So that means that they're not going to shop at Target anymore.
If there aren't any other words, if you do have any other words, but just for the sake of time, you want to look them up. That's do it. Your first, I guess, like just do it. Yeah. But the next activity, so I guess we can go back and answer these questions. Did you learn anything about Mother's Day? Like, what do you know about it now after you've read this article? Not there anything interesting that you found out?
So the title tell me so that Mother's Day have 100 years old.
Yeah, it's 100 years old. This article was written 2 years ago, so now it would be 102 years old. But yeah, if we read in the history, President Woodrow Wilson
Yes.
Officially made it a holiday. He set aside the second Sunday in May in 1914, and 2 years ago it was 2014. So Mother's Day has been around for 100 years, and now more, 102. Yeah.
It's been official in the United States for 100 years, 102 years.
Yeah.
So different countries celebrate in a different month, different day.
Yeah, definitely. I found it really interesting. In the Arab world, Mother's Day starts at the spring equinox, or like the start of spring, which is like March 21st. And I don't know, I was thinking about that, and I think it has something to do with like spring is like rebirth, and then like mothers give birth to children, and just like, it makes sense in a sort of way if you think about it more. Yeah, but I found that really interesting. And like in Panama, the day is celebrated in December and not in May, like we celebrate here. When do you guys celebrate it in Japan? Same as the United States? What about in Hong Kong? Do you guys?
The same.
Yeah? Okay.
So that is okay. So they celebrate December, so that's why I got my gift on December.
Oh.
Okay, so also I was kind of confused on the Britain Century one. For Old Mothering Sunday is the fourth Sunday of the Christian period of Lent. So does that mean that's before Easter or right on Easter? Okay, it's before.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. So now our writing activity, it's pretty simple in 3 to 5 sentences. I would like you guys to summarize what you learned. So there was a lot that you could take from here. You can maybe talk about the history portion of Mother's Day, or talk about the worlds that celebrate it, whichever you guys prefer. But I would like you to, you guys can pair up and work together to write one paragraph about what you've learned today. And then if you would like, we can share.
Fantasy, you want to sit between two of them?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Dun, 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 dun. You still want me to videotape you, Ange?
You can stop for now and then we can.